everybody and God bless. So I had a dream this morning. So really quickly before I get into it, I do want to talk about a little background. So we already know not to be around people who have taken the mark, but also I have received, I don't know if I've ever talked about it and like out in public, but I've received words about how we also shouldn't be around people who are stubborn about it not being the mark of the beast. So I know there's some people out there who are not 100% sure if it is or not. They're on the outs a little bit, but they're not 100% sure. I don't know about those people, but I do know about the people who are like stubborn about it. I had a friend, I've talked about her before. I've had a dream about her before as well. So please go watch that dream. But if you go and see that dream, focus on how I treated the server. And I treated the server like she was just a server. Like I wasn't trying to be a friend or anything like that. And I think I did mention how that server represented that friend I used to have. And that friend of mine, she was like she was my best friend. Seriously, like she was like a sister to me. And I talked about that before, and I've talked about how she represented her. Now, I didn't mention this, but a couple months later after I had that dream, that person contacted me again. Somehow she found my new number and all that stuff. She contacted me and was talking about how she had family members who took it, and it's okay for them to take it because they had to take it because, you know, they were surrounded by people who were sick. Now, she was saying how she was never going to take it, but she was just like, these people who had took it, they took it for good causes and all this stuff. And I didn't know what I was supposed to do at that moment. And it dropped back in my spirit that that server, the way that I treated that server, it wasn't just how to treat that friend of mine at that moment, but it was also how to treat her in the future as well. And that was right then and there when she had messaged me again. And it was pretty much just telling me like, yeah, continue, don't talk to her at all, like block her, go away. And that's what I did. Like I didn't even reply back or anything like that. I didn't even open up the message all the way. If you have an iPhone, I don't know if Androids do this, but on iPhones you can just hold down the message and you can read the entire message without it showing that you read it. So that's what I did. And I completely blocked her, completely said whatever. And so I just want to talk about that really quickly. So I've already known to also stay away from people who are stubborn about it not being the mark because of this dream that I had. Well, I've known it before, but in this dream that I had, I'm going to mention it again. So in real life, another friend of mine had came back into my life, and when I meet somebody new, I need to know if they took the mark or not. Okay. So I already know she hasn't taken the mark. I've actually also had a dream about her as well, about how she's in a testing room as well. So please go watch that one. It's a really good dream about her. I ended up crying tears of joy in the dream and out of the dream. I actually did. When I woke up, I was just super happy. So she came back in my life, and I still, even though I had that dream, I was like, I still need to make sure that you didn't take it. So she didn't take it, but she doesn't know 100% if it's the mark or not. Now, she doesn't sound like she's stubborn about it. So I do feel on my spirit to continue to try and minister to her. But I know that if she becomes stubborn about it, that I need to skedaddle. So I had a dream that night of me talking to her. I think it was like she had just came back into my life, I think either yesterday or 2 days ago, I can't remember, but I had a dream this morning. Yeah. And in the dream, we were still messaging back and forth. We've been messaging on Facebook, and we're still messaging back and forth in the dream. And she had messaged me and she said, I don't want to dwell on this anymore. I don't want to talk about it being the mark. I don't want to talk about it at all. So that tells me, you know, she's stubborn about it not being the mark. She doesn't even want to talk about it being the mark. So this is just a dream, okay? I don't know how she is in real life, but this is just in the dream. And I believe that it was testing me to see if I would stick with, okay, well, you don't believe it's the mark. You're 100% stubborn about it not being the mark. I need to leave, you know? And in the dream, that is exactly what I did. I messaged her and I said, we cannot be friends anymore. So really quickly, I forgot to say, so when she had messaged me that, she's like, I don't want to dwell on it anymore. She sent me her phone number. She sent me a couple of other stuff because she wanted to talk about other things. She wanted to also me her phone number. I completely ignored all of that. I texted her back and I said, I'm sorry. Oh, I didn't say sorry. I did not say sorry. I said, we cannot be friends. I cannot be friends with you anymore because I cannot trust you with my daughter. That's like, that's what I texted. I said, my daughter's life and my life is in jeopardy being friends with you and not knowing you, being stubborn about it not being the mark. And I also said to her, I said, the reason why is because if you don't believe that it's the mark, what's going to stop you from taking it when down the line, if you have to take it for a job, or you have to take it and your life is in jeopardy or anything like that, what's going to stop you from taking it? There's no eternal soul threatening to you because you don't believe that it's the mark. Nothing's going to stop you from taking it, and also nothing's going to stop you from turning me in for not taking it, you know? So that's what I told her, and it was so realistic. When I woke up, it took me a couple hours to realize like that wasn't real. And then I had to go and I went in our text messages, and she had not texted me back. So that whole entire conversation never happened, and it was so crazy. And I felt in my spirit that that not only was telling me confirmation that if she comes back saying that she doesn't want to talk about the mark, she doesn't want to learn about it being the mark, to cut ties, completely cut ties. And it was also dropped in my spirit that that was also a test for me to see if I was cut ties, because I actually prayed like 2-3 days ago. Well, it was like an open prayer, you know, you just talk to God like he's your friend. And I was just like, God, that would be really cool, like if I had a friend that was, you know, local that I could be friends with. And you know, that's something that I want. I would love to have a friend local, but I'm not going to disobey God for it. So I believe that it was a test to see like, would I keep her as a friend locally or cut ties with her like I'm supposed to, like God told me to. So this is just more confirmation. I'm still praying for her, and I pray that she does learn that this is the mark. I have not received a text message back as of now that I'm recording this, of if she wants to continue talking about it being the mark and learn more about it being the mark, or if she's going to completely go the opposite direction. I'm really pray that she does learn, because like I said, I have had a very positive dream about her. I'll put it back up so you guys can go watch it. It will be in the description box. All of my videos, I'm not sure if anybody notices this, but I do put in the description box videos that I mention, and I also put in the description box scriptures and stuff like that. A lot of times I forget to mention that in the video, but please check my description boxes when you watch my stuff. But anyways, so I do want to say that really quickly. I really pray that this was just a test dream and not a, you know, this is what's going to happen type of thing. I totally pray that she learns that this is the mark, and you know, her and I can be friends. But I do also want to say that this is also a warning for everybody else out there as well. It's the same thing with sinners, regardless, because in the Bible we know that in sinners, to stay away from sinners who are stubborn about their sin, who are not turning to repentance. God called sinners to repentance, not just sinners like it says in the false chosen. Anyways, but you know, God calls sinners to repentance, and that is what we are to do too. Like when we're friends with sinners, we're friends with you to call you to repentance. I'm not friends with you so that you can just live in your sin and I know you're going to hell, and then eventually end up causing me to also sin, because a sinner is not going to want to be around somebody who is living righteous in God. Okay, so I do want to say that really quickly. And it's the same thing with people who have taken the mark, and it's also the same thing with people who don't believe that it's the mark, because if they don't truly believe that it's the mark, I do believe that, you know, they're most likely going to be around people who took the mark as well. So you're around that person, and then they're also around people who took the mark. It's very important that we listen to God. We listen to God. God says, stay away from these people, stay away from these people. And, you know, yes, obviously we have to live our everyday lives. You might end up going to the store, being around somebody like that, but don't sit there and just have like this super long conversation with them unless you do feel led by God, because that has happened to us before. We felt led by God because it was a teaching moment for us. Like my mom just posted a video. She felt led by God to talk to this lady, found out that she took the mark, and then had a dream about her later. And I definitely believe that that was God telling her to talk to her, so that when she had the dream, it all made sense. I hope that makes sense, but I'll also put that in the description box as well if you want to see that. But you know, just be led by God. Definitely be led by God. If you do not feel led by God to sit there and talk to somebody who took the mark, please walk away. That's what I want to say, guys. I hope you all, and you know, please listen to God. Please listen to God. And I pray you listen to this warning. Stay away from people who took the mark. Stay away from people who are stubborn about it not being the mark. And just be led by God. Please do not be fearful. Don't be worried.